live, and good morning. 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. Hope you're doing well. I did sleep in today. It's terrible. Sometimes I do. Didn't feel too good last night. So I had a rough night sleeping, but sleep's important. Anyway, 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. I am Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach. And today, there was a question posed the other day. Who is accountable for the results and outcomes in Scrum team? And this was, I want to say, Tabet. And I posted up. I want to share. Maybe I could do this. Trying something new. Here's the question that he posed. A tricky question to all the people who do or work in Scrum. Who is responsible for results and outcomes in the Scrum team? And Thabet posted that. Maybe we'll have to do a show together, and we'll have to do something. And then I got asked, and definitely want to get Ogini in here to do an interview with me. So we're gonna do that because you got to teach me how to say your first name, and definitely in the last name for sure, but definitely the first name. And she asked me, Greg Mester, what do you say about this hot topic, about your opinion? And I said the Scrum team, but does the organization, such as leaders, managers, set the teams for success? So my question was, of course, it's the Scrum team, but does everyone around them help set those teams for success? And we're going to get into that a little bit today. So that's the topic, and I want to thank everyone for commenting and sharing with me on LinkedIn and sending out that little challenge out there. And this is the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. I am Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach. And here we talk about Scrum and Agile in a tactical and practical way so we can bring value to the customer and not work crazy hours to do it and get home to family and friends and have a little fun. So one, I love the dialogue, and two, thought about it a little bit more too. I got a little more twist than what I said. So who's accountable for outcomes and deliveries? And the textbook answer is the Scrum team. However, in a practical and tactical way, let's talk about that a little bit. I put it up there. The whole organization is responsible for the delivery. Okay. I don't like the idea of pointing, it's the Scrum team's fault. In fact, I would say the manager who assembled the Scrum team to deliver the value is really ultimately responsible for the productivity of that Scrum team, because they're the ones that put it together. Now, I know they're probably like, well, HR picked the people. I didn't do the business. I didn't do layout and all this stuff. But you're responsible for hiring all that to deliver that. So you're really a big player in that. And that's where I think when they say for Scrum Masters to coach up, and that's what Scrum Masters need to do. They need to bond with those managers and work that together. Same as Agile coaches. And I'll tell you, there's times when I do, and sometimes I don't. But I do try to work with managers to understand more about Agile and how it works. But let me not give it out. So many teams I work with, when we do retrospectives, quarterly things, all the companies I have, they always want to blame the organization for why they can't deliver. And I'm just going to give a little example how I disagree with that, right? I do think the teams can deliver everything and what they need to do. However, there are some limitations and some things that prevent them from being $1 million Agile team, right? Being that $1 million team that they put in a way that just doesn't work. I had teams way back and doing medical stuff and things like that. And in medical stuff, you got a lot of like detailed legalese, and it's got to be exact. And everyone would blame, I don't have the content, or even business and marketing. It doesn't matter. It's the same phrase. I've pretty much heard it everywhere. Well, I don't have the text content. I don't know what the words are that marketing is going to give me. I don't know what the words are that the business group wants us to publish on the website. I don't know what legal wants to do. And when I hear legal as a PMP for years doing contract negotiation, as soon as I hear legal, I'm like, oh God, we're never, extend the due date when legal gets involved. Unless you've read it correctly, there is a way to do it. Maybe I should do a show on how to talk to legal people in the Agile world or world in general, to be honest with you. So what I would ask them, I said, okay, well, can you build everything from a software perspective? And I was thinking about this a lot the other day. And I know you can do it because I've done it. Build the software in such a way that leaves a variable in there that when you get the legalese, the content, the detailed information, that you can insert it. Now, if you have graphics and pixel perfect stuff and they all want it, that's a different level, right? But if you get the basic idea of what's going on and the people can give you the information, then you have the infrastructure, everything set up, and then you have a product. Even without the legal terminology or the marketing term, you now have a product that your customer can give you anything you want and you can pretty much post it. Now, there's also ways to automate a lot of that stuff. Get that out of the hands of the team and have your customer fill that information in, right? So that's making it better, faster, quicker, and more productive. And those are the kind of things that teams need to think about. They're so quick on blaming other people. And I'll give you one other example. So that's one from a coding perspective. Another one's from dependencies. There is not a company in this whole place that I've ever been to in my 30 years that haven't blamed somebody else because they're dependent on. I'm like, well, when was the last time you talked to them? Did you agree? Did you have a handshake on when stuff? Well, no. Well, then how can you blame the other people? You didn't. You need to do that, right? I'm going to say you didn't do your job, but you need to do that as a team. Somebody on the team needs to go out there and confirm that you're going to get this delivery. And I've had places where someone said, oh, we're going to deliver it. Me being the Agile coach, I can see everyone's backlog. I was coaching both teams. And the one guy, well, yeah, so-and-so said they're doing it. I said, it ain't in their backlog. What do you mean? I said, no, go ask them. So you got to promise that they were going to do something, but it's not in their backlog. And we'll do an episode on that too, about the backlog and business story, user stories. I'll put that in my list to do on another day. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. We're going to do some fun stuff tomorrow. What that's about. So I'll share that with you all. But if it's not there, you have to do this handshake deals. So it's not everyone else's fault but the team. Now, here's what I'm getting with the HR, the team, the organization. Let's talk about that a little. Is senior management given goals that they want the organization to go to? Or is the senior manager handing those goals to how the organization should run to the teams? I don't believe in that philosophy. The goals, and you listen to Gary Vee, you listen to Hermosa, you listen to the people up there at the top. Their goal is to be the visionary. Where does the organization need to go? How do we make these leaps and bounds to get the high percentage profitability, right? The growth, right? You don't get growth by letting things go down at the bottom. So they need to do that. So that's the organizational managers, CEOs, CIOs, whatever you're in. The managers, their job is to eliminate administrative nightmares, right? They got to say, hey, I got 20 different systems coming in my teams. They're spending most of their time answering survey questions. And I don't want that. I want it in one system or very few. We got to eliminate some things. We got to consolidate. We got to consolidate frequencies. That's the job of the managers to say, no, we're not doing all this stuff, right? They have to protect the teams just as much as Scrum teams. Also, managers have to go meet with the people on the teams. Are they happy? Are they working? Their job is both from a higher level talk. It's tough to be a middle manager too, because you got to talk to the higher executives and to your team. And when I don't see managers talking to their team, find out what they need to do their job, then that's where that problem comes from. And it's not about middle managers telling the people how to do their job, because you don't have enough time to do that. You don't have enough time to tell 20, 30, 50 people how to do their job and report all this stuff up top. No, you don't have time for that. And they make a mistake and think that's their job. I said, no, you're at the next level now. You can't tell people what to do. Don't even go there. And then also HR. HR is responsible for a lot of this stuff, especially with the cold that came through. I'm going to say the cold because if I say another word, I'll probably get banned. So I'm not going to say the other word. And sorry, it's just not going to do it. When they go out and hire an outsource scattered across the world, and then they want to bring anything in the office, but they're scattered across the world, whose fault is that? Is that the person who took the job because you offer the job, or the team, or is it yours, right? So there's responsibility in HR. Are you hiring people at least in the same time zone? Or are you spreading it out and think, oh, we'll save $5, but are you going to get the productivity, right? So these are all the things that play into who's accountable for delivery. If you set up the team where every individual on the team is in different time zones, I would say that was an HR problem. I would say that was a manager problem, right? For building a team scattered like that, there's no interaction. The only interaction you get by email, and you'll get a delay in response and checking and pair programming and all that kind of stuff. The stuff that really produces content. You're going to end up extending the delivery time, extending the time it takes to deliver work to the customer. So there is a little bit of everything. The Scrum team should be responsible. Scrum team shouldn't have the out. Oh, it's everyone's fault but mine for doing it. No, you have to be creative in how you're going to do it, and you have to make an agreeable transfer point to where you say your stuff is done. So that's what I wanted to share about that. I know I went over a little bit over the top, but it was a very good, solid question, right? It was good. So again, I want to thank those who put out those questions because it really made me think about it. And I'm glad I responded, but you got to think about it. It's a whole, but it is the team. Don't let the team go off and say, oh, it's the organization's fault. Why I can't deliver. They didn't tell me. And this other team didn't tell me. What did you go talk to the other team? Right? Because most of the times I go and they didn't talk to them, or they didn't really set up a really solid, nor did they go look at the backlog of the other team and see how backed up they are. To be realistic, before they promised the customer they were going to do something, they didn't first go over, oh, we know we're going to need this other team's help in this matter. Before we promise the customer when we're going to deliver it, can someone go over to the other team and see what their backlog looks like? Are we going to be a fit this in? Is it a big push for them? Is it a big haul? Or are they open? What is it, right? So the problem is these product owners, like a product owner, needs to go over with Scrum Master and check with these other team. Hey, we want to do this. And before the product owner tells the customer when they're going to deliver it, they got to coordinate all that stuff up a little bit. Not to have the solution, but they at least got to have everyone aware and understanding when you have those dependencies. So that's what I want to bring about. It's more complex than it looks like. It's a simple answer in the Scrum guide to say the team is responsible and accountable for everything. Yes, but there are other players in the organization that can hinder the ability of the Scrum team to deliver. So I want everyone to be aware, and they are also responsible. There's no pointing fingers just down at the team because they didn't deliver code. Well, did you set them up for success? That's my question. So with that, that's what we got today. I hope you have a great day. Tomorrow is going to be our fun day. And I don't want to play that one. I'm going to play our music here on the way out. I want to wish you all happy Scrumming tomorrow. Fortune Cookie Friday. I did post up the podcast. The podcast of the Thursday night program. I'm going to put some graphs up there and everything. But I'm going to wish you all a great day and happy Scrumming. And with that, I say goodbye and see you tomorrow.